Time for Debo's side of the story when he first met Aaron. He was in the market, having lost hope in life since he couldn't be there for his sister suffering from the disease. Nor could he be there when his parents died. He was pissed at the entirety of his life when he had his first encounter with Erin. Initially, he was rude to her, even though she saved him. But it took him just a year to change his entire sense of values, just by being around her. Erin was a cold but warm hero who protected the people by clearing the path before anyone could. She used to help people with no personal motive, becoming an inspiration for Debo. Not only that, but the time was lively too, making random challenges of someone being the dishwasher if they lose, which ends up being Debo because he is younger than them. He is considered the great disciple of Erin by the rest of the team, and they are well aware that he wants to impress her by being better. As they proceed, Erin talks to a young girl, Shannon, asking if they are on the right way, to which she agrees, seeing the mark her brother left at the place. A little flashback into the flashback. Shannon is a young girl whose brother went into deeper areas of the Elnath mountain, and she wanted Erin's help to find him since she couldn't go and do so alone. Erin wasn't in favor of taking this individual request because Shannon also insisted that she goes along as a guide, knowing very well she'll be more of a nuisance than a guide because the place is dangerous and she is weak. However, Debo interjected that Erin is probably Shannon's last hope, and he can protect her while they proceed in the mines. So, as they proceed further into the cave, noticing the change in atmosphere, they come across a corpse. The person isn't Shannon's brother, but he seems to have died a week ago from injuries that don't look like they came from a monster. While someone is about to identify the body, all of them are attacked. It is a disbelief that the monster is a Zakum. The four adventurers aren't scared. Instead, they follow Erin's command and work together to quickly finish off the monster while Shannon observes them. By the time they destroy the statue-like monster and the dust dissipates from the surroundings, they notice that Shannon is nowhere to be found. Seeing a cave nearby, they wonder if she went in, knowing fully well that it isn't safe to go inside such spaces when in monstrous places. Erin is quick to tell everyone to beware because she can sense some powerful energy coming from inside, and it might not be safe. Debo announces that he will go inside to bring Shannon back since he took responsibility for her so the others can guard the cave from outside. Erin tells him she'll accompany him since she needs to get rid of any danger to the Maple World. The atmosphere inside the cave is ominous, with lava flowing here and there, and a gigantic tree sitting in the center. Shannon sits there sullenly, looking at the corpse in front of her, who is her brother. Debo is frustrated, but he tells Shannon to stay there and he'll get her. Shannon looks at him with a sick smile, telling him she knew he'd come after her because he is that kind, but she cannot go back anymore. She explains the theory of Zakum. It originally meant the tree of the demon, so the monster they fought outside wasn't Zakum, but a statue possessed by it. The real demon is the gigantic tree in front of them. Debo is about to interject, but Erin stops him and steps forward, thanking Shannon for letting them know of this, and telling her to move aside so she can chop off the tree. However, Erin is well aware that currently, Shannon is using her brother as a sacrifice. Shannon seems to be doing exactly that, but her expressions aren't matching what she is doing. As she takes out a core from her brother's body, she tells them that what Zakum can control with its powers isn't limited to a statue. On cue, a sword goes through Debo's back, piercing through his stomach. Turning around, Erin and Debo find their friends attacking them. Shannon looks the epitome of evil as she tells them they are the target of their vengeance now, and their friends don't know anything else anymore. Shannon then wickedly announces the time for the best to appear for the finale, mentioning all this being for the Black Mage. Since they are possessed by Zakum, Erin tells Debo to finish them off quickly since they are no longer their friends. Debo is having a hard time collecting his thoughts to do that, knowing fully well it was his decision that convinced everyone to come down here, and he is responsible for whatever is happening now. Rushing forward, Debo stabs Mariah, but the last moments are even harder for him because Mariah gently places her hand on his face, thanking him and telling him to take care of Erin. Now that the two are free of trouble, they decide to get rid of the tree together. As they attack the stubborn tree, crazy Shannon tries to attack too, but Erin kills her in one go. When Erin thinks they have only the statue left to deal with, Debo starts getting possessed. He tells Erin to hurry and finish him off quickly so he doesn't do anything he regrets. He laughs to himself that this must be his well-deserved punishment for putting his team through this and having them lose their lives. However, soon Debo sees visuals of his sister dead in front of him, making it look like Erin did it so he can attack her. As Aaron decides to finish him off quickly, her plans don't go as she thought, because Debo's reflexes have gotten faster as he is enraged towards Aaron. However, instead of choosing the path to kill Debo, Aaron moves forward and attacks the statue, knowing once she successfully destroys it, Debo will come back to his senses. Breaking it little by little, when Aaron moves forward with the final blow of her attack, Debo ends up appearing on top of the statue, which is the doing of the demon knowing Aaron won't be able to attack now. Aaron is already halfway into her attack, making it hard for her to do something. But when Debo opens his eyes next, he finds himself back to his senses, and soon hears Aaron's voice, who is glad that he is back. However, the reason she said this was because she was worried she'd have to leave without saying goodbye. Debo is unable to accept his eyes and ears as Aaron lies in front of him, taking her last breaths. He cries, questioning why she didn't just kill him, but Aaron tells him that they failed in killing the Black Mage 800 years ago, and now defeating it is in his hands. She sees potential in him and has decided to leave the Maple World in his hands, finally accepting that he is her one true disciple. As Aaron closes her eyes forever, Debo's perspective of life is damaged yet again. He was barely getting up in the positive direction when he had to see this destruction and live in guilt of causing this. Dejected in everything, Debo had surrendered himself to a monster, making it confusing whether it was a flashback from a few years back or the last life. When Debo wakes up, his sister tells him he's been sleeping lifeless for a long time, and it looked like he had a bad dream as well, but Debo has no memory of it. Suddenly, the doorbell rings and she calls Debo that someone is there to see him. Getting up, Debo finds none other than Elpham standing at his door, telling him their plans have been pulled forward, and they need to be on the move. Debo questioned if they were not getting any holidays, but Elpham questioned if he hadn't rest enough already. Debo sighs, wondering why did he even bother with the question. Elpham then casually tells Debo that he'll have to lend Elpham some money. As if Debo was going to agree on a few mesos, Elpham nonchalantly tells Debo that 200,000 mesos should be enough. Of course, we hear Debo screaming absolutely not afterward. Elpham tells Abyss that he was only able to survive the hob base in the gate because he had been raised by a circle and knows nothing about anything else. Abyss tells him to be honest with him as Elpham and Debo will only get paid once they give him the full information and he knows Elpham needs money. Elpham casually tells him he made a mistake and brings out 2 million mesos from his bag, clearing off his debt with Abyss right away. Now that Elpham doesn't owe Abyss anything, the contract terms are cleared off. Abyss is frustrated like ever, with Elpham knowing that he must have earned some money on the sidelines to do that. And with this timing, it is sure that Elpham is trying to get the most value out of whatever information he has. Abyss sighs and claps his hands, congratulating Elpham on finally being a free adventurer, telling him they'll resign the current contract now. He then asks Elpham how much he'd like as a sign-on bonus, so he can try to match that amount. Elpham, being a big boss like usual casual, asks for 50 million mesos, making Abyss scream in surprise for the millionth time when talking to him. Later on, Elpham narrates this to Debo, who is annoyed that Elpham doesn't share stuff properly with him. And of course, Abyss would have rejected that offer. Currently, they are in the slum grounds, a place Elpham spent his entire youth trying to escape. It used to be a better place once, but now it's just a playground for bandits. As the two are walking with poor Debo, still wondering what exactly Elpham brought them here for, a guy falls in front of him. The guy is then surrounded by bulky men. Debo analyzes the situation and tells Elpham they should change their route, but the petty guy on the ground drags the two of them in the situation by calling them big brothers and telling them to help as if he knows them, and as if he could be the younger brother of his age in front of these two. Elpham is silent like ever, while Debo is getting annoyed more and more with this guy with every passing second. The men tell the two that their so-called younger brother stole stuff from them and tried to run away, so if they don't want a commotion, they can just pay him 3 million mesos and get over with it. The guy is bratty as well, to mock the people that they never saw him steal, so they shouldn't accuse the innocent, but his facial expressions scream theft. Before anything else can drag the situation, Elpham throws 3 million mesos at them, making Debo's eyes fall out of his sockets for the billionth time. Elpham then tells the guy Ralph to follow him, making both Debo and Ralph confused that Elpham knows him. Elpham, being a straightforward guy, asks Ralph to join his team. Ralph, being the most arrogant thing a slum could witness, tells Elpham that he must know of Ralph's skills to have come all the way to find him. Since Elpham says that he neither has a guilt to belong to nor any money, Ralph is already getting more boastful, thinking he has the upper hand. He demands 3 million mesos from Elpham just to join his team. However, the thing with Elpham is that he always has the upper hand somehow. Coincidentally enough, their conversation is interrupted by Beiju, a representative from Kanya Merchant Union, who is there to meet Elpham. She doesn't beat around the bush and tells Elpham that they are impressed with his skills and would want to recruit him just by clearing a simple gate test. She pays them 3 million mesos up front and promises a sign-on bonus of 50 million once they pass the test. Ralph is getting a check on who he is dealing with right now, but when Beiju leaves, Elpham throws the 3 million at Ralph, making him climb back to the 7th sky of narcissism yet again. Elpham tells him he'll pay the rest 7 million after they clear the gate, making poor ignored Debo almost pull his hair out in frustration at signing this brat on 10 million mesos. Elpham ignores Debo like always and tells him they need to visit another place. Debo questions if there's more, but receives the good old silence yet again. Debo is once again shocked to see Kiri in front of them. Kiri herself isn't amused, but she has a promise to fulfill too. As the four of them reach the gate, Ralph is still in his selfish thoughts that Elpham brought useless people that might reduce his money. Beiju narrates it being an orange level 50-person gate with 3 scars in it. Elpham knew he'd be approached by this guild, but he didn't expect them to bring him to this gate for test. He seems to have passed the gate in his previous life as well in a different period, but since he did it, he doesn't intend on changing his plans. They are also told that all parties must shoot a flare if a second gate is found. Only Daibo is the rookie who doesn't understand this. Kiri explains that this is a 2-layered dungeon, which means there is a gate to another dungeon inside this dungeon. She also makes sure to insult him to beware, as this gate won't be like a usual dungeon. Meanwhile, Ralph also throws snarky remarks as if he is already a part of the trio. He then proceeds to be more haughty as he tells Elpham that just because Elpham recruited him, it doesn't mean he is the boss. The boss will be decided based on skills. Elpham smirks back, agreeing that they can decide the boss based on who achieves more in this dungeon. Ralph has an evil smile, thinking Elpham got fooled by him, and soon he'll be controlling everyone as the boss. To be as delusional as this, nobody. Debo tells Elpham they should get done with this faster so they can earn that much money, making Ralph throw another snarky remark at him. Debo flips him off, telling him they should fight since he is getting unbearable. But Ralph manages to tick Debo off even more by telling him that he'd win, but he doesn't do anything without money. As the two are fighting, some people are attacked spontaneously. Elpham tells them to get their act together and not lose formation if they don't want to die. They are attacked by evil eyes right when they enter the dungeon. Debo gets under one of them, but Ralph manages to save him just by a kick. Kiri assumes that the gate was in the middle of their territory, which doesn't happen very often. But Elpham is sure that there's something different because the last time he visited this dungeon, the evil eyes didn't attack right at the gate. The evil eyes are cunning enough to dodge or retain attacks of both Kiri and Debo, but Ralph is striving. He is not only defeating the ones attacking him, but also helping Kiri and Debo with just his punches and kicks. Now the two know what the real skills of this 3-circle monster are, and why Elpham chose him. Ralph is in his amusement deciding that he has made an image and impact in front of 2 kids, and now he needs to see where the third one is. He already knows that Elpham isn't a usual adventurer for Kenya to be interested in him, and no one would be willing to pay 50 million for someone with common powers. Even though Elpham's speed and his ability to fuse telekinesis and fire arrows are right in front of Ralph, he still refuses to believe Elpham is better than him. He believes that the guild will pay more once Elpham is successfully recruited and dreams about sitting on piles of money once he becomes the boss of the team. His delusion makes you want to punch in his face. Kiri is also annoyed at how Ralph looks like he is enjoying being surrounded by monsters. As Ralph steps forward to kick another, he is kicked by Elpham to the side. He gets furious, threatening that Elpham wants to fight him. But before he can spew more rubbish, some evil eyes followed by attacks from a human come towards them. There is a person on a tree who is shooting arrows at them. In the swarm of evil eyes, it is hard to locate the person doing this, but Elpham is smart-sighted to figure it out faster. Not only that, he uses an evil eye as a decoy to defend himself against the arrow attacks, and then launches his fire arrow in time towards the culprit. Even Ralph is impressed with this execution. However, Debo calls out to Elpham to look out as the arrows are coming from another direction as well. Elpham is unable to dodge them all, but he isn't injured seriously by that attack. It is confusing how that person got behind them so fast. Kiri tells Elpham that they need to retreat as the place seems dangerous, but with a sky that seems like the arrow attacks are being showered down as rain. The question arises, where do they retreat? From the 50 people, only a limited few are left still trying to survive the shower of attacks and the evil eyes simultaneously. As they all run, Kiri, Daibo, Ralph, and of course, Elpham are playing guardians and helping everyone. As Kiri shouts, questioning why they wouldn't rush, she gets to know that evil eyes are lying in front of the path, waiting for them to become their prey. While everyone worries about the seeming dead end, a path opens up using fire, and who else could be doing that than the nonchalant hero of ours? Debo is worried that they might die at this pace, but Elpham calls him out to listen carefully, which means he has a plan. As people rush towards that, the attacker is also following close by, confident that he is going to be able to reach them whatever they do. However, he is also impressed by Elpham's skill, noticing how Elpham located him instantly and seems as talented as he was told about him. However, overconfidence is something that is found in every adventurer out there, because this person also assumes that even though Elpham is not someone to be taken for granted, he is still not enough to survive in front of his attacks. As the attacker finds the spot to attack everyone again, he notices that the number of people he counted isn't complete. One person, the one with the polearm, is missing from the group. Before he can comprehend the situation, an attack lands on him from behind. Elpham stands there without his robe. He had exchanged the robe and stock with Debo, so the attacker's focus remains on the seemingly Elpham, and he can sneak away. Elpham is confident that he saw the arrow hit the target this time. While Debo is busy being proud of his boss, an arrow lands on his stomach, leaving everyone shocked. But they are not given enough time to even contemplate the sight of Debo being hurt, because more arrows come their way once again. The same happens with Elpham as well. Kiri helps Debo, but her leg gets injured again. Before the two of them can fall and become the archery board to those arrows, Ralph picks them up on either side of him and starts running, calling himself a dad without even having any kids. Well, at least he accepted that he was the elder brother and not the contrary. As they rush, the attacker still follows closely. Ralph questions why they are rushing in a defined direction, making Debo tell him to just follow the boss's directions at this time. Ralph is confused till the three of them come across the second gate, which means Elpham directs them there so they can save themselves by entering the second dungeon. Ralph is both annoyed and excited. Debo doesn't want to go in without Elpham, but this time Ralph is right that Elpham sent them there, so they go in while he follows later. However, before Ralph can step forward, an arrow comes attacking him from the front this time. Ralph, who was sure that he could enter the gate before the attacker could reach them, stands there shocked at how he already crossed them. Another arrow comes aiming at him, but Debo's polearm, which was with Elpham, comes saving him. Before Debo could be happy that Elpham saved them, a log comes towards the three of them, not to hurt them, but to send them flying through the gate before the attacker could hurt them anymore. This leaves the attacker agitated as well. An intense game of hide-and-seek begins between Elpham and the attacker. The attacker is getting annoyed as Elpham keeps hiding as if he isn't doing the same. However, he is confident that he is better at this game because when being chosen to be part of the followers of the Black Mage, he was involved in a huge selection match to see who would strive to be the closer one of Sir Evoke. Evoke is the long-hair oldie that we've been seeing drinking wine, looking at the moon, and giving orders to his subordinates to infiltrate the guilds and harm adventurers. The killings of 300 assassins went on for 7 days, but he was not found by anyone, which made Evoke give him the name Ghost. As Ghost is hiding and annoyed that the evil eyes keep popping up, disturbing him that it may be Elpham, an attack comes towards an evil eye. Ghost smirks and comes out swiftly attacking, while narrating that Elpham shouldn't have been stupid to not know that this would make his location comprehensible. But underestimating Elpham and being shocked is one of the most amusing aspects of this story. As Ghost's arrow strikes the tree, he sees no one there and realizes that telekinesis was used to fool him. Before he can do anything else, fire arrows from various directions keep coming at him one after another. And with the advantage of Ghost being off guard, he does get hit this time and lands on the ground. The smoke from the impact of fire arrows plays another pivotal role in slowing Ghost down. Elpham is hiding casually a little away, and wondering if Ghost decided to hide seriously this time. Even though it is frustrating for him, Elpham still knows that hiding oneself to this degree is indeed a unique skill. However, Elpham knows that nothing of that sort happened in this gate in his previous life, which means that this was an assassin sent by the Kanya Guild. And the future has started taking different turns than last time, due to him entering the 100-man gate. Elpham's thoughts are broken when Ghost's voice asks him to come out. While Ghost is busy trying to trigger Elpham that he is hiding cowardly, Elpham is recovering from the shock that Ghost's voice is coming from the opposite direction of where he was expecting him to be. Elpham gets up and rushes there, wondering if Ghost can teleport or what. Unfortunately, Elpham isn't as subtle at hiding as Ghost, so Ghost finds him right away. And before Elpham knows, multiple arrows come his way from behind. On the other hand, the three teammates fall into the other gate. Daibo is dejected that they left Elpham all alone to fight back there, but Ralph reminds him that it isn't anyone's fault, and Elpham is the one who wanted that too, so he must have a plan up his sleeve to come to them alive. This time, their argument isn't interjected by a monster or a person, but Daibo's eyes land on some bones on the ground while trying to steady himself. Bones not of monsters or animals, but of humans. Not only that, looking ahead, the three of them see numerous skeletons lying about. Daibo is confused about how there could be so many corpses for a 50-person orange gate. He feels like the intensity of attacks and corpses in this gate suggests that it is something for a 100-person barrier, not 50. This is when Kiri finally gets the situation. This entire quest was nothing but bait. From the sudden request to the excessive number of corpses, it all connects that the Kanya Guild has already become followers of the Black Mage. They lured all the adventurers who posed a potential danger to their aims into this dungeon to kill them. So, Elpham was right about them taking the bait. Even though Ralph is unaware of most of the background story, he remains unbothered and tells them they should wrap their chit-chat up, as the house owner doesn't look very pleased to see them. The fact that Ralph looks very pleased to see that monster is something very not normal, though. Looking ahead, they see a giant ice monster in front of them. But the problem is that Daibo and Kiri are brutally injured. Ralph laughs at himself, exclaiming that he'll have to pay the rent himself this time. Then he makes sure to brag it in front of them before telling them he doesn't do this for free. Opinions about Ralph are always divided into two categories. If we are talking about Ralph, the human, he is the tackiest personality one can come across, and no one, including himself, would ever deny that. But if Ralph, the adventurer, is questioned, all the renowned adventurers who hate his personality would say he is extremely talented and skillful. Ralph is considered at the peak of the third circle as a bishop healer. Kiri and Daibo both cannot believe their eyes as Ralph pulls out the healing technique in front of them, and doesn't even take long to heal both of them simultaneously. Their wounds are instantly healed, and now his aura is screaming, why Elpham not only went out of the way to recruit him, but also dealt with his annoying personality. Both of them had assumed that the fighting class was Viper when it was Bishop this whole time. Kiri has her mouth agape to realize that, back in the outside dungeon, what Ralph was doing wasn't involving the use of his skills at all. Ralph brings them out of their shock by telling them they should prepare themselves to fight if they are completely healed, and that they should work hard to earn their pay. A person like Ralph talking about working to get paid is both ironic and realistic at the same time. Ralph reminds them that the monster isn't going to wait till they get out of their shocks, and then get some bed rest to feel active. But all this doesn't mean Ralph isn't interested in any more amusement, because this entire scenario is more thrilling for him, rather than scary. As soon as the monster steps forward to attack them, Ralph runs away, telling the two that it is time to test their skills. Poor Kiri and Daibo aren't even prepared to do anything yet. Well, anything other than hating Ralph's guts, of course. The two almost become a meal for the monster instantly, but manage to escape somehow. Daibo is currently hanging around the gigantic head of the monster, trying to hit him in the eyes and injure him so it gets slowed down. Kiri also starts attacking the monster along, but the two of them are still at a disadvantage in front of the huge monster and are thrown away. Ralph comes to the rescue, telling them they are very needy. He is playing a true parent, though. And he doesn't stop amazing the two of them with his skills, because Ralph isn't just healing them or just attacking. He is attacking the monster and healing them at the same time, which isn't a usual quality among healers. Moreover, his healing skills aren't haphazard or putting energy all at once. He is using the healing power in a very calculated manner, by only using it when they are in danger, and using it to instantly treat them without overdoing it for himself. In summary, Debo needs to close his mouth from the shock. While throwing the strongest-looking punches at the monster, Ralph exclaims to both of them how he forgot to mention that the first one was a free service, and from now on, he will charge them for each time he heals their injuries. As Kiri can also sense a weird surge of power in herself, Ralph grins at them that they will be charged 100 mesos for each time he casts the healing spell from now on. Just when the two of them are close to accepting his talent, he boils their blood to no end.